Of course I'm not going to push it so deep it's gonna come out the other side. It's just a whole struggle, it's uncomfortable, it's wet in there. Hello cookies, it's Siri, I am back, and today we're going to be talking about reusable cotton rounds and reusable cotton swabs. I was talking about them yesterday with a girlfriend of mine on the way to the gym, so I'm basically going to tell you exactly what I told her, but for you it's going to be a bit more interesting because hopefully there will be some more editing involved and some more close-ups and you will actually see the products because she just heard me talking about them, talking about the good, talking about the bad. The products I will be reviewing today are called LastRound and LastSwab, and they're from the same company that also makes some reusable tissue and then some face masks and a beauty version of this one, which is the LastSwab, and a baby version of this one. I only have these two in turquoise because I thought that was a nice color. The products arrived in these cases, and here it says the case is made from plant-based material. This is compostable, and then at the back you have some instructions on how to use them, what not to do with them, and also something really cool with information that says LastRound package is good for 1,000 uses. This is for the LastRound, and you'll save 10,000 liters or 2,640 gallons. Regular cotton rounds are made of non-organic cotton that uses vast amounts of chemicals, pesticides, and fertilizers. I use cotton rounds all the time for my toner. It becomes quite costly, and I also figure that I'm throwing those and it becomes a lot of waste just for one person, because if I could just compound all the cotton rounds that I throw every year just for my own use by myself, it's a lot, and I also use about 2 bags per month, which costs me about 29 crowns times 2. And then I thought, okay, if I switch to these, I can help reduce my waste, yay, and also save some money, yeah, double yeah. Let's start with LastSwab. I really wanted to like it because I use a lot of cotton swabs on a daily basis, mostly to scoop out my moisturizer. I do not like putting my hands and fingers in my moisturizer just because it feels quite unhygienic, and I have read and heard and seen somewhere that it can give you acne, it can spoil your product, even if you wash your hands beforehand, which I always do before touching my skin. So that was the main reason I wanted to get the LastSwab. And of course for my ears, because I also dry my ears from earwax. If you look at it, it looks like a small toilet brush made of silicone. And because you have those small picots or something like that, in French I would say picot, but those small bubbles, the moisturizer sticks onto it and I can grab moisturizer better. And usually regular cotton swabs tend to absorb part of my moisturizer, a small amount obviously, but still something, and with this I can just slather it on until I see that there's no moisturizer left on this. So to scoop out moisturizer, it's perfect. One thing as well that I found extremely frustrating was how to open it, so I'm going to close it for you. And the first time I almost broke it, so this is the nice container it comes into, and I thought, yes, I can take this to travel, it's so convenient, I don't have to take a whole box of cotton swab while traveling. And then I thought, okay, so how do you open this? I freaking hate puzzles, Rubik's cubes, anything like that. I really don't like those. I get so frustrated. I don't understand how they work. I have a good memory, but I don't have the brain for those types of things. So this to me felt exactly the same. I was just looking at it, moving it, and getting extremely frustrated until I saw that there's an arrow here and then it says to push like this, and you push it and ta-da! For the ears, it really did not work. It actually managed to push my earwax deeper into my ear, which is one of my greatest fears because Then I have to use the water product earwax thingy that you buy at the pharmacy with the cup, and it's just a whole struggle. It's uncomfortable, it's wet in there. I've been cleaning my ears my entire life. I know how far I should push a cotton swab. Of course I'm not going to push it so deep it's gonna come out the other side. I did it properly, but it just pushed it in, and I thought that because you have the small picot, now you can speak French, so let's just say picot, it would just grab the wax and get stuck in between and everything would be removed properly. No, there was a little bit of wax, but I still had to go again with regular cotton swabs afterwards. I still had that sticky wet feeling afterwards, and I prefer when my ear is totally dry after I use cotton swab, so that it feels fresh and neat and clean. Cleaning it was rather easy. I just used some soap and hot water, and then I put it on a towel to dry, and then it's dry and it's totally clean. Onto the last round. It's here, and I have a couple of them in here, and the rest are drying on a towel because I always wash them right after I use them. It's pretty easy. Basically, I just apply my toner, and then I use the same soap that I use for my makeup brushes, and I just wash and rinse, and just like I would wash some clothes, and then I put them to dry, and then I can use them again the day after, while I have the ones that are already dry in here. These are all used already and washed and dried, and now they look like Pringles. They're not flat, they have this curve, and it looks exactly like small Pringles. I am not sure whether it's because I wash them with soap and lukewarm water, or if it's anything with the Swedish water, or if it's just how it is for everyone. If you have bought this, please let me know whether yours also look like Pringles afterwards. I don't really mind how they look like right now. Now they're much smaller than the container itself, so that's just something to keep in mind, but they're still easy access and nothing wrong with them. My biggest concern when it comes to those products, and what I was wondering before buying them, was how much toner they would absorb. I don't want my toner to get lost into the cotton rounds instead of getting onto my face, because then I have to buy more toner, which is bad for my wallet and bad for the environment. I also obviously tried the technique where you put some on your hands instead, so you don't use cotton rounds at all. That did not work because I just could not make the perfect puddle, and then all the toner would just go down here, and I think it's way too much toner when you have a small puddle. But if it's not a puddle, it just ends up being absorbed by my palms, and when I do this, it falls here. These don't absorb that much toner. Actually, I think that it absorbs toner only by half, because obviously the toner has to go in and then you apply it on your face. But I was happily surprised by the fact that I didn't notice that, oh no, it's way worse than cotton rounds as in regular ones. It's actually better, and I'm quite happy with how they work when it comes to the toner. So that's a yes. So happy. My main purpose when buying them has been fulfilled, because they don't absorb my toner that much. One thing I have to mention though is that I do not use cotton rounds to remove my makeup. I haven't done that since 2011 or 12, when a friend of mine in Singapore told me not to use cotton rounds because she said they would give me wrinkles, and it's better to use the product that I'm currently still using, the pink Biore one that you just put in your hands and then you warm up and then you apply on your face and you rinse off, instead of using cotton rounds to remove makeup. So on that I can't really give you an honest review, because I don't care for using cotton rounds to remove my makeup, but these are rough. The hooves and grooves and textures on them feel a bit rough. So that is something that I have been thinking about because I'm so pleased with their performance when it comes to toner that I am sold. I'm not going to buy any more disposable cotton rounds because I just use them for toner. But at the same time, I'm wondering whether because they're rough, it's going to be bad for wrinkles in the future. I have no idea. I like the fact that they're quite durable because when I wash them, I'm pretty rough. And I thought that the first time I would just shred them to pieces while washing. And they survived. I don't want to have to think about how rough or soft I have to be with things that I use. I'm usually always on the go doing something. I don't want to have to be extra careful because that's just too much time spent and too much worry and too much, oh yeah, I have to be so careful. So that's why I was not careful the first time I washed one, because I thought if you can't survive me washing you, then you're not going to be that convenient in my life, and I know myself, I'm not going to use you that much. So if you don't survive this, then that's it. You're not meant to be mine. But it survived my rough washing, and that's also a really good point for me added to the product. The last thing that I use cotton rounds for is to clean Laika's ears. These don't really work for that purpose. I think it's because they're a bit stiff and they don't really take the shape of her ears. So for her it's uncomfortable because they're rough and stiff. And for me it's hard as well to clean the hooks and crannies of her ears. If you've ever cleaned a dog's ear, you would know that there's a lot of stuff happening in there. Of course, you should never go too deep. And if you have to go that deep because there are issues, you probably should go to the vet instead. But I mean, regular cleaning that one does at home, it does not really work with this. I think it would work if I soaked the entire pad with lots of products. But first, that's wasteful again, and also I don't think it's that good to have your entire ear super wet from tons of products, because when dogs' ears are too wet for a long time, they can get infections. When it comes to Laika, I'm still going to use regular cotton rounds for her ears because it's more comfortable for her, as she really dislikes the process anyway, and it helps me clean better. And these, unfortunately, just don't do the job because they're way too stiff. To conclude, I'd say that I'm still quite pleased with the products I got because now I can reduce my usage when it comes to both cotton swabs and cotton rounds, even though unfortunately I will still be purchasing the disposable ones, but definitely less often. And that's it for today's review. I hope you cookies enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't want to miss the upcoming video. So until then, cookies, I'll see you soon. Bye!